Hi, and welcome to our next presentation, now with Novedo. And presenting, we have CEO Per-Johan "Pelle" Dahlgren. Myself, my name is Max Bacco, and I am an equity research analyst here at ABG within industrials. And with that said, please go ahead with the presentation.
Thank you. So I guess we have yes. So my name is Per-Johan Dahlgren. I'm CEO for Novedo Group. And I have background from industrial companies. I was 10 years within AQ Group, which is a small manufacturing industry group consisting of quite a large number of companies. And I was 5 years based in China. In the last 2 years, I was CEO for the AQ Group. And during 2011-2018, I was CEO for St. Erik's Group, which is a producer and manufacturer of concrete prefab products. And it's a former carve-out from Skanska and Peab, and at the time owned by several different private equity companies. So I have background from manufacturing industries and quite large experience from acquisitions within these areas. And Novedo Group then, we are an industrial group and an M&A compounder. We have so far 11 companies in this group, and we are targeting small and medium-sized entrepreneur-led companies. Our focus is really to understand this core business of these companies, and we're looking into profitable, stable companies, and we want to own them for a long time. So actually we did an pre-IPO in this company some weeks ago and targeting to list this company within 18 months after that then. And the 11 companies so far, they have a turnover of roughly 1 billion SEK and 12% EBITDA margin. Fantastic history of 11% CAGR the last 10 years, and totally 650 employees. And on the right-hand side, you can see some of our in the management team, and the mid-line is the board of directors, and in the bottom line also some pictures of one of our majority share owners, Fredrik Holmström, and also one of our industrial advisors, Peter Wågström, who is former CEO of NCC Group. And coming back to our founder, so this company is founded and majority owned by Said Esmailzadeh, who is a serial entrepreneur, and he has founded a numerous number of companies over the years. For example, Diamorph and also Stiptech, which is now on the large cap list. And also in the ownership, we have then Fredrik Holmström, which is founder of Magnolia Group. So we have some really strong entrepreneurs in the owner structure, and also, yeah, it's a strong position for us when targeting companies to acquire to the group, that we have entrepreneurs owning this company. And here we can see a picture of the companies. We have then 11 of them. They are between Gävle in mid-Sweden down to South Sweden and Malmö today. I would say all of these companies, they have quite long history. They are stable companies, have had stable profitability. They have some kind of unique niche in their offering. And even more important, they are led by very good entrepreneurs. As you can see, they are in some different areas like painting, ventilation, installation, electricity, technical installation. And the first acquisition was made in January this year. And since then, we have then made these 11 companies over the year. And here you can see a little bit in which areas they work. So for example, we have the companies within ventilation and electricity. They work quite much with energy saving projects in commercial buildings. We have companies within infrastructure and natural stone who are working with infra projects in cities most often. We have one company working with technical insulation, which targeting industrial customers, and their unique niche is that they're working with very many small projects. And on the left-hand side, you can see the area of painting in our group. We have 4 different painting companies, each with different niches and long history. And this picture then shows also as I mentioned earlier, the financial performance going back 10 years. So fantastic CAGR, 11%, but even more important, they have had a stable profitability of roughly 11% over this time. So we think this shows that these are high quality companies we have acquired to the group, And yeah, we're quite happy with this background for this company group. And when we're targeting new companies, we always get the question, how many companies can you buy? And we think still there are enough companies for Novedo. This is out of Sweden. We have carved out roughly 7,500 companies, which is somewhere in our scope. So for sure, we believe there are still enough good companies that we will be able to acquire and that can join Novedo Group going forward. And when we find companies, we work quite much with our own private networks. In addition to all the companies that are now in Novedo, they recommend their friends or business partners to join Novedo Group. So that is also a very good channel for us to find good niche companies. And in addition, of course, we do our own market research. We work with the financial brokers, but we are quite selective on what kind of processes we want to join in that case. And we're looking for, as mentioned, strong companies led by strong entrepreneurs. They should have a financial track record. We are not looking into any kind of turnaround companies at this time. And typical size is between 50 to 500 million SEK in turnover. And we want to have them on a profit level of at least 10%. And so far we have acquired companies on the EBIT multiple between 5 and 7. Actually, exactly 5.7 is the average. So yeah, basically we're looking for strong companies in this range. So as we are an M&A compounder, we are very active in this field of building our pipe, so to say. So this picture shows in the bottom the 11 already acquired companies, which stands for 115 million SEK in EBIT. We are at the moment in due diligence phase with 3 other companies with additional 56 million EBIT. And upon that we have, I would say, discussions with roughly something around 40 different companies, whereas half of them are quite intensive in bidding phase and negotiations, and the other half is maybe a bit more long-term negotiations. But the very active pipeline and the work we do here is of course very important. And our acquisition model, it looks like this, that in average so far we have paid 60% upfront, and the remaining 40% is some kind of earn-out for the companies, the sellers. And traditionally, roughly 20% is a so-called an earn-out, and that's an EBIT performance the coming 3 years. So quite good incentives for the sellers to stay on and deliver this EBIT, and also a good upside for them if they perform better, and also some kind of downside protection for us if they perform worse, so to say. In addition to this, they are allowed to invest in Novedo. So far, roughly 20% of the acquisition value has been invested in Novedo. So the sellers, they become owners in Novedo together with the other of us in the management and in the board. And this, we think it's a really good model. We want them to be pride owners and still be owners, so they have own incentives. There's, of course, a decent financial upside on the reinvestment, and we like them to be part in Novedo, so to say. And why do they sell to us in this competitive landscape? It's a question we get quite often. I would say in general, we try to be very much down to earth. We are really interested to understand the core business, the culture in the company, the business manner, and that seems to be well appreciated by the entrepreneurs. We are not only pushing the figures, so to say. We give them a decentralized organization, so they are free to run the companies as before. So that's also one important thing for entrepreneurs, that they are not forced into any synergies, so to say. And in addition to this, also, as mentioned earlier, I think we have a decent acquisition model where you can have earn-outs and reinvestments in Novedo. And how we operate with the companies, as mentioned, we have a decentralized model. All these companies are specialists in their sectors already. They have been very good in handling risks from the history. So we are supporting them in risk management going forward. And basically, we know we are building up a decent network of very good entrepreneurs in Novedo Group. So there will be lots of opportunities to cooperate in this company, in the group. But needless to say, we are not forcing any synergies from the top level. We want the synergies to come from the bottom, so to say. So it's a very decentralized organization filled by good entrepreneurs. And also some examples of the companies in the group. I took here Olle Timblads and Tyresö Målericentral, which is a painting company in Stockholm. They have been here for a long time, since 1933. Very good company, very stable company. You can see from the profit levels has been very good over the years, and they have, you know, nice customer base, and they work with new build and renovation. One of the nicest, I would say, painting companies in the Stockholm area. Company number 2 here, it's called Ventilationskontroll. It's a company within ventilation services in Gothenburg. Also this company, very good performing company, stable profit level, under growth actually. And I believe this company has something like 90 to 95% is like service jobs. So a very nice business portfolio in this company. Third company I wanted to talk about is Valtteri, which is a natural stone specialist. Also this company has been around for a long time, 1938 was founded. And they have also had the good growth over the years. They are a really niche player and an expert with natural stone, especially in the Stockholm area. And has have decent profit levels over the years as well. So we are very happy to have them in Novedo Group as well. Going on to our leveraged. So we, in addition to the pre-IPO we did some weeks ago, we also issued a bond on 750 million SEK. And this picture shows a little bit how much acquisitions we can do with this bond now. And existing 115 million SEK in EBITDA, we with this bond can buy another 176 million EBITDA. And that is based on that we acquire on the same multiples as previously. So we think it's still decent opportunity. So based on this, we can almost reach 300 million SEK in EBITDA using this money. And at that time, we will have a gross debt EBITDA of 2.6. And going forward, our financial targets, we know we have a very strong pipeline. We have good confidence that we can continue building Novedo Group. So we are aiming to have a 50% year-on-year growth the coming at least 3 to 4 years. And of course, within that, it's mainly acquisitions. We have accounted an organic growth of only 3% during this period, which is maybe a bit conservative, but also we think it's reasonable to not ask too much in the beginning of the group. Sure. And as mentioned earlier, we want to put this group on profitability 10% at least. So this is the target, and that's the kind of companies we're looking at when we are acquiring companies. And capital structure, the net debt EBITDA should not exceed 3.5, and that's the gearing we have at the moment that we will be able to stay under that figure. And on the right-hand side, you can then see a number of companies. It looks like we should add roughly 10 companies per year, and of course it will depend on the size of the companies. It could be less, it could be more, but we can say that we have a very good pipeline, and we are confident that we will reach these targets the coming years. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Now we have some minutes left for a few questions.
Yep.
And to begin with, could you elaborate on what types of projects you mainly focus on, both in terms of size and complexity, and also what type of customers you approach?
Yeah. I would say it's quite unique for each company in the group, and that's basically our business idea. We want to have a diversified group.
Yeah.
We have the largest customer in the group stands for 9% of the total sales, and I believe roughly the top 20 customers stands for roughly 40% of the sales. So a decent, I would say it looks okay.
Yeah.
The kind of projects the companies are working with, in general, we can say that we are working quite much with smaller projects. So only 1% actually of the projects during 2020 was higher than 10 million SEK each. So it means that we have quite low exposure to large projects.
Yeah.
And in addition to this, we can say that the 10 projects which was higher than 10 million, I think the largest one was, most of them between 10 and 20 million. The largest one was 33 million SEK. And all of them was very profitable. So the companies has been very good in performing larger projects like calculating, planning, invoicing to customers and follow up. So we have identified that when they do larger projects, they have been very good from the history as well. But as mentioned, only 1% is over 10 million SEK.
Yeah.
So it's got limited exposure to each project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the split between renovation and new build?
It's roughly, on the total at the moment, roughly 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are mainly two of our companies is working quite much for new build, but also new build as in commercial properties. And to their defense, so to say, they have been very profitable over long history.
Yeah.
So they have very good positions in that area. But if you take aside these two companies, roughly I would say 75% of the sales is renovation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are for sure targeting more renovation than new build. Yeah.
A more stable market, perhaps.
Yeah. It's more stable market.
And in terms of market, what would you say are the main drivers for your market growth? And what is a reasonable growth rate going forward?
Yeah, of course, there's the aging buildings in Sweden.
Yeah.
Also, the people moving to the cities, I would say, is the two larger drivers. Also, some infrastructure projects.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, we only calculate by 3% organic growth. I think it's relevant. It could be more, but from the history, our companies have gained much more. But we want to be a bit conservative, not to ask too much. So I would say it's an okay figure for us, 3% organic growth the coming years now. Yeah.
And as you said, you have acquired 11 companies this year.
Yeah.
Have there been exclusive processes or have it been more of bidding processes?
I would say roughly 50% has been exclusive and 50% the bidding processes. As mentioned earlier, we try to be quite selective when working with financial brokers. We rather have the dialogue direct with the seller. And that's because we want to really understand the entrepreneurs behind, why they have built the company, the business manner, the culture, and that is it's harder to get that connection when you have a broker in between. As well as there is high competition as well. But so far 50-50.
Yeah. And what is your process of finding a new CEO to your portfolio companies when that is necessary?
Yeah, of course, important question for us going forward. We have an CEO in the group who is responsible for the company's daily business, so to say, and also responsible then for the succession planning. Basically, we want to work with these entrepreneurs for a long time. Most of them are midlife, so somewhere between 40 to 50 years old. So we hope we could get them to stay longer. They have clear incentives for another 3 years for the earnouts. I think many of them wants to stay on for that. In addition to their owners in Novedo. So we hope they will own Novedo stocks for a long time. But of course, we think we have like 3 years on us to really do the planning. And by doing that, you need to stay close to the company, have an open discussion with them. So when they would like to leave, we should have enough time to plan. Is there an internal candidate, external candidate, or can we move someone in the group? So I think if you stay close to the companies, have a very open dialogue with entrepreneurs, we can manage this in a good way. And
going ahead, will you stay within your current niche ventilation, painting, and so on, or are you looking at other?
We have actually a slightly larger scope than that. So today, most of the companies are in some area close to properties, yes.
Yeah.
But we would like to add more industrial companies as well. So we're targeting a broader base of companies and focusing on entrepreneur-led businesses. So it could be services or manufacturing, but to business customers. So for sure, business to business, but it could be products, trading, manufacturing as well. So we want to have a broad base of very good companies.
And quite similar question. Right now, you're most in Sweden or exclusively in Sweden. Going ahead, do you intend to expand in the Nordics or perhaps down to Europe?
Yeah, for sure. We are going outside of Sweden. I think within next year at least. And let's see. We're coming back to what country we will target first. But there are, of course, large opportunities to find nice companies within the Nordic countries, as well as in Europe. So I think this is the first year now in Sweden, and we are building up our M&A team a little bit. So we will go outside the country in the near future.
Do you think this decentralized model is quite common here in Sweden and the Nordics? Do you think if you, let's say, go to Europe and try to acquire companies that you can convince them that this is a good idea to?
I think we can, sure. But of course, it depends a little bit what kind of business they are in and the structure. But I firmly believe that good entrepreneurs, they want to run their companies in a good way with the best support for them. It could be very limited or quite much. But that's the thing. I think you need to be flexible when managing entrepreneurs. That's what we do.
That's nice. I think that was all the questions from me. So thank you very much for joining us here today and presenting Novedo.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.